It's nonsense. You don't get to talk about all the benefits and say 50% off after they double the price, but don't even mention that they doubled the price.
And I've heard some people trying to make some bad arguments. I heard a couple of people being like, oh, this actually works for the free-to-play players because the whales might buy the orbs and get them.
And you wanted me to have a positive video. I just don't have any positive thoughts about this. This is a no-brainer to be upset about this, by the way. This is not even controversial. My opinions and thoughts about not liking this at all is I don't know anybody that thinks this is great.
What's up, guys? So today I wanted to sit down with everybody's favorite mobile gamer, my buddy Trevor. How's it going, man?
It's doing well.
We are going to have a chat about the Red Star Rework. A lot of people have been asking me how I feel about certain aspects of it, and I do think there are some good parts of it, but there's definitely some not so great parts of it, some of which we were told about ahead of time, some of which we weren't. But yeah, I do think there's some very justified outrage here, and want to hold Foxnex accountable here. So.
And now a word from our sponsors.
I did want to make sure I gave a shout out to the channel's newest sponsor, Game Oils. What is Game Oils? I'll let them tell you.
Essential oils, aromas for natural wellness and healing. But current products aren't made for gamers. Now there's a better way to holistically improve your game with scents like strategy, kill-death ratio, and dominance. All of them mostly safe and distilled using nature science. This is what victory smells like.
Guys, obviously I'm not sponsored by Game Oils. That's not even a real product. What kind of sellout do you think I am? This video is actually sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, the free-to-play epic dark fantasy turn-based hero collection RPG with over 400 collectible and customizable champions. In particular, I've been really enjoying that I can sacrifice unwanted characters to power up my existing teams. Also, the clan boss fights are just awesome. I should also mention that they recently doubled their daily login rewards program from 90 to 180 days. Every day you can claim free new rewards from energy refills, silver, and gems, to shards, and even a free barbarian legendary champion, Syl of the Drake. Another plus is that in addition to being free to play, Raid is also available on both mobile devices and PC. So you can find me in the game under the name Khasino, and if you're quick enough, you can also join my clan. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on the special links, and if you're a new player, you'll get 100,000 silver and a free champion, Slasher. Note that these exclusive rewards are only available for the next 30 days. We'll start from the top. I guess let's start with what I believe are the good stuff. I'm interested to hear your take on this, but the power curve, right? I think that's just better, right?
Okay, so the way that it is now, with the flatter power curve and more accessibility to promotion credits, it is probably realistic that most of our, let's say, our arena teams will be 5 and 6 stars. And the difference between me and you having a 5 or a 6 star versus the one random 7 Ghost Rider that's on our shard is been effectively squashed. I mean, because the AI is bad, it's pretty easy to punch up, 20-30%, but when I'm playing with 3 stars pre-rework versus 7 stars pre-work, that's not happening. Now it's definitely gonna be level, and at the end of the day, my thoughts is that they needed to level this out so that we will all have, 4, 5, 6 stars on our good characters, and then they can sell us whatever they want to sell us next. Green stars, ISO 8, whatever. I mean, they almost had to do this.
Yeah, this was pretty inevitable, and I feel the same way. The point where most people's rosters will start to settle is still around the 4 Red Star average. But yeah, previously 4 Red Star into 7 Red Star was 20% into 75%. So 55% punch up is ridiculous. Now I believe it's 35% into 75%, which is like right on the cusp of actually being manageable. So it's definitely in a better place. And because 7s are so rare, like 4 into 6 now is doable, where again previously it was
4 into 6 is not a problem. Like it's not gonna matter much. I mean, overall the power curve flattening is great, except for Ultron basically effectively took a 10% nerf across the board, but he's had his day. I'm actually okay with that.
Yep, and maybe this will open up an opportunity to get him some Red Stars someday. We'll have to see as he keeps getting pushed down the meta.
Yep.
So that was good. The Flash event we're waiting for more details on, but the price changes, and we'll get into how the price changes are tied to the change to conversion, but just the actual price changes themselves. The fact that they took 5 red from 300 down to 150, I think that was good, right?
Well, yeah. Well, we're gonna get to the part. It's like, but it's like me saying, I'm gonna sell you this 50% off after I doubled the price. I mean, you don't really get to like boast about dropping 300 down to 150 when they destroy the conversion rate, double the conversion rate. It's the same if you're converting Elite Fours. Yes, we have more access to Elite Fours, but that's not the point, and it's even worse when you get up higher into the gold promotion tickets. It's nonsense. You don't get to talk about all the benefits and say 50% off after they double the price, but don't even mention that they doubled the price just right now before we do it. It's ridiculous, actually.
Yeah, it is. But so actually, I got a little ahead of myself because again, there were a couple good things about this that I think are just objectively good.
Yeah.
So I do want to hold them accountable for all the crap. But the other couple things that were good, they did improve drop rates.
Yes. That was like a month ago.
They did. Right. And it kind of went unnoticed. We were calling attention to it, though, because it's a good thing. 3s are more common and 4s are more common. Have you been noticing more 3 and 4 drops? I definitely have.
Well, I think that went into place end of January. I made a video about it in February, but it was basically a stealth buff. They didn't tell anybody about it. And then, the Elite Four tickets on the sides are fantastic.
Right.
I mean, but dupes on dupes. I guess I just get to pour more dupes. I don't know.
Right, exactly. We get to pour more dupes, but the more elites we get to open, theoretically, the more higher Red Star numbers we get. That law of averages. But all right. So let's pivot to the crap. And we'll start with the one that just burns me up the most, which is they've decided that new characters will not go into the Elite Store until they become farmable. And then they further clarify that they consider farmable to be either on a node or in a store. So if they're not on a node or in a store, they're not considering them farmable. We don't know what that means for Premium Orb exclusive. We do know what it means for legendary characters, which is that they've said they will consider legendary characters farmable as of their second event. So like Ebony won't show up in the Elite Store until the second time he comes around. And then lastly, just for anyone who was wondering or was confused, characters that were already in the Elite Store but are unfarmable, like Cyclops, Mr. Sinister, characters like that, they will continue showing up. This is only going forward. But I think that's awful.
My problem with that sentence in particular was that they said it was going to be so that it wouldn't be so oppressive to the free-to-play community. I think that's nonsense because the whales are going to buy the new characters. The whales are going to spend the most on the red stars. And it looks like for a new character, the only way to get, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stars is just by buying massive amounts of red stars. The people, basically, it's just going to incur spending where a whale may just like, oh, hey, I can use promotion credits. So why do I need to buy red stars? Why don't you just say that? It's to fuel spending to red stars. It has nothing to do with, destroying the ecosystem or helping free-to-play players. I didn't like the way it was worded at all. Just say they want us to buy red stars. I mean, that's what it is.
Right. Like and I've heard some people trying to make some bad arguments. I heard a couple of people being like, "Oh, this actually works for the free-to-play players because the whales might buy the orbs and still not get them." Oh, well, exactly.
The whales will buy the red stars no matter what, and you will still come up across the same thing. But if we can, on a good character, I can get it up to a 3 or 4 stars. I can hang with their whatever. But now I'm going to have 0 stars if I don't hoard my orbs correctly or purchase orbs, and the whales are going to have the 3 and the 4 stars anyways. That's just the way it's going to turn out with this system.
Right, it's now just free-to-play players get shafted. They are very unlikely to get the red stars they need, and because it's until the characters become farmable, Ghost Rider's been unfarmable for over 6 months. Can you imagine having a pivotal member of the team that just needs those red stars to function so he can actually land his debuffs, and you're just sitting around, and even if you've perfectly hoarded all your currency, you have no say. And for me, this strikes at the heart of the issue of the Red Star rework. Everyone's single biggest issue with Red Stars has always been people hate RNG-based progression. They want to control where they're going. They don't want how strong they are and with which teams to be entirely out of their control. And this is actually... exaggerated
think of it
that
like
problem.
this. Let's fast forward like a year, right? We've got this new system in. We have more access to promotion credits. We've upgraded the characters that we really need to get up to 5 stars or whatever, right? Whatever we need to do, like our meta characters, whatever characters we're using in raids, whatever characters we're using, they're going to be where we need. Basically, the only characters that we're going to want to upgrade at some point in time in the future are the new characters. And it's going to basically, by delaying that 3, 4, 5, 6 months, has completely devalued the importance of promotion credits altogether.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not useful.
Right. Waiting 6 months to upgrade that character. Yeah, the whole point of it is if you're going to invest in a new character, you want to be able to use them for an intended purpose. And as a whale in particular, like your motivation is, a perfect example is Toad. As a whale, you're like, oh, the reason I want to get Toad is so right away I can start beating Coulson teams with my Brotherhood. That's my advantage. Is I'll get Toad strong early. He'll be ready to take on Coulson teams, and the free-to-play player is like, well, my Toad's going to be like 2 or 3 gold star. He's not going to have red stars, right. So I just I
So
don't
imagine,
have that option.
a year from now, I have a stockpile of promotion credits. What am I going to use it on? The next Toad comes out, when I can't use them, I just have to wait. Then they have much less value. They're not that valuable at that point.
We've seen this happen a ton of times where too much time goes by and a team just gets like skipped over. The perfect example of this was the Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse was a very competent Fury Shield counter, but by the time, it probably took like 9 months before anyone even could get them all the gold stars they needed. And by then, beating Fury Shield team, you had like 5 options by the time people could actually get their Spider-Verse strong enough. So yeah.
Well, and let's talk about Ghost Rider. People say, what T4 should I put in Supernaturals? As like, do you have access to Ghost Rider Elsa?
Right.
Nope. What's the point? I mean, what's the point? You don't have a 7 red star. You don't have a 7 gold star Ghost Rider. Until you do, why dump resources into it? And maybe by the time that we have access to Ghost Rider, maybe it's probably not likely because it's a good offensive team, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think this is a double fail on Foxx's part because the free-to-play players, this is going to work for basically none of them. Like there'll be the occasional lucky free-to-play player who gets like a 5 red star on a character from a campaign event that they were able to farm, but the large majority of free-to-play players in Dolphins are definitely going to miss out on being able to really capitalize on almost every new character. However, this also introduces opportunities where you can leave a bad taste in even a whale's mouth because they will spend on the character offers, get the character all strong, get unlucky with the red stars, and now they're thinking, I shouldn't have spent this $100 or whatever I spent on the character because I still can't use them. Maybe next time I won't even buy the character because that's still no guarantee for me. So it's just
I think it's really not that complicated. Basically, the way that the system is today before the Red Star Rework is that each character came out, there was a cost of buying the characters, and there was an additional $100 upcharge for people to buy all the red stars, buy the $250 packs if they wanted to have a viable character. Period. It was just strictly a $100 upcharge, and they did not want promotion credits to lower the cost of their characters by $100. They need people to needs a weird word. They want characters. They want people to continue spending that $100 if that's what people do. I mean, you do it. I don't, but I hoard orbs and then I open them, and that's kind of what I do.
Right, but I think that they've even made that worse. They're calling this a rework, but I think even that situation they've made worse because you only get so many promotion credits. So, you don't buy tons and tons of Red Star offers, so you just don't have that many promotion credits. So even if they give you more, it's not like you could take every new character to 4 Red Star just with promotion credits. You don't have enough. That's, So with this, the whales were kind of getting near enough because they were buying so many offers. So even if they didn't get it, it was like their fallback for their investment.
Yeah. What if you're unlucky and you only get a 3-star? What point is a character viable? If they want it to be viable, 4, 5, I don't know.
Right, and yeah, I'd say probably 4, assuming that you're high enough. It definitely depends on who you're going against, but up where we're at, 4 seems to be the standard. But yeah, again, just
4 is kind of a standard today in competitive arena. But promotion credits have allowed me to take very important characters from 3 to 4, and they're playable at 4. But if I can't, or I have to wait 6 months or whenever, boy.
And they've taken it out of your control, which really, really sucks. So I'm upset with that. And my proposed solution to that, And there's a couple. You can tell me which you like the best. The one I suggested on Reddit, because I think it's going to be the easiest, simplest, most popular, was just let people pay for the upgrades up to 4 Red Star. Beyond that, you know, you got to get lucky. If you want a super usable character, if you want them to totally dominate, you got to buy the offers. But yeah, just up to 4. I don't think that breaks anything. You like that solution?
Well, and my point is, there's no point in them telling us about how great, you know, the promotion credits are going to be if they're not. I mean, it's basically they're not. Today, it's not a big deal. I'm talking about like 6 months to a year from now, because I think for now in the intermediate term, you know, I know that you have a lot of characters that you want to upgrade. I have a lot of characters I want to upgrade, but at some point I'm going to get the characters I need to some sort of reasonable level. And then my only focus is going to be on new characters. And then that's going to essentially make whatever they give us in that Wakanda event much less valuable if I can't put it on a new character.
That's the best way to put it, is having those promotion credits that can only be used on older characters kind of defeats the purpose, and rewarding people who've been really efficiently hoarding and saving. Like the dream for a newer or free-to-play player should be, I'm gonna just save everything I get, and if I wait long enough and if I save long enough, I will be able to splurge on a handful of characters, whether it's I've saved up cores to splurge, or I'm gonna buy some offers because I'm a dolphin, whatever it is, and then dump everything you've saved and like make sure that you get those characters to the power that you need, and kind of jump the meta. In exchange for having lagged behind the entire time hoarding all these resources, you get an opportunity to kind of jump in and be competitive with a new team. And now it's just out of your control, and it's literally worse. It made the major pain point of Red Stars worse. And then the only other thing I wanted to bring up was you were talking about the conversion rates.
Yeah.
Which,
This is a no-brainer to be upset about this, by the way. This is not even controversial. My opinions and thoughts about not liking this at all is, I don't know anybody that thinks this is great. I mean, this is not good. I don't know how they could even pull this off and exclude this from, you know, there's a middle of a strike. Whales are complaining. They feed us a lot of great information and they omit the one part. Nah, I don't think that's a coincidence.
Definitely not. I don't think so either. I think that they were hoping that it would be carried by so much good news that would be able to kind of slip by, but no. And in fact,
seeing my collection power jump by 600,000, you know, on the same day that they give us this news, you know, is kind of a weird way of doing it. But I think if we look at, what does it matter if everybody's rosters goes up the same? I mean, that doesn't really do anything. You know, it's not. I mean, just because you're not. I mean, they could have quadrupled the number. What does it matter? You know, but this conversion rate, you know, oh boy, this drastically devalues the ability to control the Red Stars on my roster and the value of promotion credits. I know I'm jumping the gun, but I'm very passionate about this subject, so I'll let you finish with your thoughts.
No problem. Yeah, it is. It's very upsetting, and so what's even crazier is like a good amount of people are upset about the Elite 5 price hike, which doubled.
Yes.
Which I get that, but like the Elite 5s, as someone who buys way too many Red Star offers, the Elite 5s, it was like, well, you get those kind of quick enough that you might as well just get the random 5 rather than choose a 4 or something like that. The Elite 6s, I have no
Elite 6 tickets anywhere, none, zero.
In the entire time that I've been buying Red Stars, I've never opened an Elite 6. I have in total brought in enough that I could have opened a single Elite 6 with all the ones that I've opened, but I, in the past, used to trade them in because for 500 of them, you could get 50 promo credits. So I was like, well, rather than in 6 months opening a single 6 orb, I can get a 4 today on someone that, as we previously discussed, you need 4 to function. Yeah, I forget, but I would do it for important characters like, oh, I only got Black Bolt to 3. That's worth it right there. Rather than in 6 months opening a 6, let me get them to 4 where I need them. And so they made that go from 500 for 50 promo credits to 2,500 for the same 50 promo credits, which now I could trade in once with everything that I've been saving for months and months and months of all the whaling. And yeah, that is just, they've just completely devalued the point of me having saved those up. Like I literally 3 days ago, I could have gotten 5 characters to 4 Red Star with that, and today I can get 1.
Well, and the irony of all of this is that they were trying to minimize the pain of duplicates, right? And so that you, even if you buy a bunch of stuff, you get duplicates and you get some value and some control of your roster. But they slashed that, absolutely slashed that. I mean, There's no point in dropping the cost to go from, we're talking about Elite Fours and using silver tickets, to going from, we're going to drop the cost from 300 down to 150. But if they cut the conversion rate, that is nothing. That's a net nothing. As far as that transaction goes, that did nothing at all. In fact, it made everything else more expensive, going from 1 to 2 to 3. If you look at it that way, everything else is cost twice as much now. So it was really they said, it's like we got it. They told us Red Star Rework is going to be great. Everything's going to be 50% off. But surprise, we doubled the price before we gave you the 50% off. It's really weird. And then you talked about the Elite 5 tickets, the gold tickets. So that's 5 times worse. So never mind telling us that they basically made the cost from going to a 6 to a 7 Red Star. On the gold tickets, they lowered the cost by by 7 or 8. I don't know. It went from a very outrageous amount down to a reasonable amount. But then they destroyed the conversion rate, so it doesn't really matter. It was like probably a net push the same. I don't know. It just is a weird way of doing it, and it's very convenient that the most important information was omitted from any of our releases. I'm not thrilled. They said they were going to give us more information. I'll wait for that, but right now I think this is absolute trash.
It is, and I'll close in saying this. And it's really just like
and you wanted me to have a positive video. I just don't have any positive thoughts about this. It's when you start thinking about the numbers and how it really works, it's just like, my goodness, they just confused us is all they did. And I know there's a bunch of people watching this video. It's like, I don't really get it. And it's like, it's the math is not good. If you don't, just believe us, the math is not good.
Yeah, you guys are welcome to do the math for yourselves, but yeah, I'll leave it at this. The
math is not good.
The first thing is, what's always been at the heart of the frustration everyone has with Red Stars is its RNG-based progression. No one likes how well they can do and what characters they can use being out of their control. No one has fun with that. No one plays to go, let's see what characters I get randomly assigned to lean into today. That's not what people are playing for.
Power Curve makes it a little bit better, but yeah.
It doesn't really, because they still need a certain amount to function. The Power Curve makes some of the gaps between people who got really lucky and people who weren't as lucky a little bit better. But ultimately, still the majority of people, like just the average player, is going to get like 1 or 2, maybe 3 Red Stars on a character, and that's still going to put them behind the curve, and it's still going to put them behind what your average dolphin or whale can bring in by buying more Red Star offers. And this they've packaged this Red Star rework as like, you're gonna get more resources to upgrade who you want. So it was packaged as like more player control, but it's actually less player control, because by restricting who shows up in the Elite Store and making sure that there's, anywhere from like a 3 to 6 month wait on any new character, whereas before at least you could hoard a bunch of stuff and selectively go after a new character. Now it's forced randomness. So it's, as far as I'm concerned,
I do want to say that the flattening of the curve, boy, that's a weird word today. But the Red Star rework is fine. I'm sure that there's going to be some great promotion credits, ways of getting them, and I'm going to get my roster where I need it to be and happy. But I think this problem is delayed 6 months to a year. Once it's all going to be about new characters. Always going to be about new characters. And cutting the rate for the conversions, horrible. Not letting us convert the characters or use the promotion credits for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. No, it just basically they want us to buy Red Stars. Just say that.
Yep. Yeah. And my closing note on this is such a weird position for me to be in, where most people seem really happy and excited, and I'm the one being like, no, you should be pissed. That's, I never get to be in that position, so.
Overall, the flattening the curve is fine. Adding the elite, but I can't say that adding the elite tokens on the side is a benefit when they change all the conversion rates. It's just they changed it. They took one to add to another is all they did. Really, the only thing that happened is that the curve was flattened, and now, which I've been saying ever since they talked about it, is probably because they needed to be more flat because it wasn't going to interact correctly with ISO 8. and we're not going to have an incentive to buy something else. I mean, we'll see. But this is just, you know, I've been playing these type of games for a long time. It seems the way that it's going to going, and I don't think I'm wrong about this. I don't think I'm wrong about this at all.
Nope, you're not. But I know you got to get to stream. I think I made you run a little late, so I'll let you go. Thanks for sitting down with me and ranting a little bit about this Red Star rework. But yeah, I had high hopes for this, and Fox Next, you dropped the ball on this one big time. I really think, and yeah, I think the players deserve better. So
okay,
all right. Until next time.
Peace. Dab, 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 dab.